that would cause me to be like, oh, I don't like that. That sucks. I can't believe those people are like that. And so if you're energetically depleted and you're at odds with yourself, others, or your world, dial in and feed what is good for you only. Everything else, turn away from it. One thing I want to read quickly here before I get started. This is a little bit in this book, Transurfing in Your Pocket, this delightful little montage of transurfing bits and grammatical errors, but it's awesome. When Vadim is talking about and increasing your energy in the short part that I'm going to read, he sort of also talks about limiting the amount of different things that you do in order for you to focus on one thing. But the way that I'm going to pitch this to you is in a way where it's about you limiting your emotions so you can have the ability to focus on one valuable part of your reality, right? So what he says here, momentum increases when energy is added, and that is why the secret of success is focus. A steam engine cannot run with all the valves open. If you want maximum speed, you have to close all the valves and focus all your energy into a single intention or action. You have to close yourself from everything else and focus only on what is best for you. Okay, so close yourself off to everything else, focusing on only what is best for you. By going with the flow and focusing within the flow, you achieve big. Okay, so I'm going to break it down the way that I see it. When we are not in an active state of flow, when we have loaded up an expectation of ours with importance and have a bunch of excess potential, have a bunch of emotional turmoil about something, are at odds with some part of ourselves or our reality or the people that are in our lives. Essentially, you have a bunch of valves open and the energy is just leaking out of all these valves, blowing out of all these valves, and you don't have any energy left over to do the things that you need to do to create your own reality. Because remember, you can't create reality in the moment that you're in it. You create in the moment that you're in now to affect those future frames of reality. So if you're energetically depleted and you're at odds with yourself, others, or your world, and you're battling with that stuff right now, that future frame is going to suffer, right? That future frame is most likely going to be more of the same thing because the conflict that you're in now, either with others, with your world, or with yourself emotionally, is going to create more conflict via your mirror for those future frames. So that's why it's valuable to pinpoint now how your emotions and these open valves, so to speak, can be closed off so you can gain that energy and that steam to direct towards one specific intention or goal that is going to help you in creating your own reality, those future frames. So the number one way for me to find success is through emotional balance. And I know this is like, God, that doesn't really sound like it would play that big of a part. But for me personally, having been prior a very, very emotional person, I realized how much I was bleeding out energy connected to things that were causing me to be in some sort of emotional state where again, then internally there was this mastication process that was happening where I was constantly thinking about my emotions and, oh, I'm feeling anxiety, and oh, I'm depressed today, or oh, I'm worried, or oh, this thing isn't going to work out, or oh, I feel betrayed, or oh, something, blah, 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 blah. I could look back, and oftentimes I can remember being incredibly distraught, but I don't remember what I was distraught over. I don't remember what I did to get myself out of it, how long I was even there. I was lost. I was lost in myself. I was lost in my reality. I was lost in a pendulum, and that emotional state was just a constant state of turmoil that, you know, rendered me powerless is really what it equated to. So in realizing any pendulum that was causing me to continuously exist in an emotional state, in a state of being that didn't line up with that future version of me, experiencing that future version of reality that is my intention, had to go. It's done. I'm not doing it anymore, right? So dysfunctional relationships, unhealthy attachment to media, and negative information in my layer of reality that would cause me to be like, oh, I don't like that. That sucks. I can't believe those people are like that. And, oh, the world's really messed up. And all that kind of stuff that would keep me resonating, that very low frequency place where my emotional state was just, it was like a slow bleed. It all had to go, from the little stuff to the big stuff. And now I use my emotions as really my navigation system. And I know that if I'm feeling emotionally balanced and I'm feeling for the most part satisfied with my emotional state and my emotional connection to my external environment, I know that I am headed in the pathway of success, right? Now, if something happens, I had something happen over the summer I had a number of things happen over the summer that were really emotionally just, it was not a good place. And that's when I wake up, I see myself, I see my reality. This is getting so much from you, and you need that stuff to do something and provide yourself with something better for your reality, rather than, ruminating in this emotional state that isn't going anywhere. It's not helping you do anything, right? So this is me in a shitty emotional state that my valves are open. All my valves are open. I'm connected to my external environment or the people in my life in an unhealthy way, where I'm just sort of constantly putting out fires, right? I'm putting out fires or trying to appease people or trying to calm myself down, or, oh, I need a Valium, or oh, I need, and just I'm really not in a place where I can harvest and grab for myself any meta power that can be used for something more beneficial. This is Pendulum City. This is, again, depleting emotions. This is me catastrophizing, going over, oh my God, this is so bad, and blah, 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 overthinking. And this is me existing in a confused state, trying to constantly make sense of things, or, luxuriating in complex thinking that isn't, again, really taking me anywhere. So the biggest one that this causes, the biggest thing that causes me to plunge into complex thinking is trying to work out problems in my mind and get myself to an emotional place that feels good regarding stuff within my family. So I kind of just stay away from it now, right? If it's absolutely necessary that I got to think about something, I think about it, I move on. But any of this, like getting into complex thinking about stuff that I know that, and this is really where the idea that not all challenges and not all scenarios have a totally simple and obvious solution, right? Especially when it comes to people. So the best thing for me to do rather than trying to get in there and, work it all out and do all that stuff. It's just to remove myself, to sever the ties emotionally, to remove myself from the problem and get myself to a healthier state emotionally. And that is the solution to the problem, right? Rather than getting in there and trying to duke it out with some family member or duke it out with some other thing in your reality. And again, energetic loss, emotional confusion, depleting emotions, all that kind of stuff that just doesn't serve a whole lot of anything, right? So this is me in transurfing mode and really finding myself in an emotionally balanced state of being where I am moving forward to my success. This is me having momentum, right? Because again, those valves are all open. I have steam building up, meta power building up, energy building up, power building up, and I can use that to further myself to my intentions or my goals. This is my attachment to destructive pendulums of 0. I know 0 is a little bit unrealistic, right? But let's say like 10% or 20%. Gets a little from me, doesn't get a lot anymore. And it doesn't get enough to where it disrupts me or disturbs me emotionally. This is me tuned into positive information that helps me to keep my emotional state up and happy, and I feel good about life, and I don't let negative information into my layer of reality that's going to cause me emotional upset. I try to keep my my information coming in positive. I'm focused on the goal, right? Not focused on my emotional state. I have a lot of people that message me that are in a constant state of mental and emotional turmoil. And I have a number of them. And I'm, at a certain point, I'm just like, dude, don't do anything with your emotional state right now. Just shift your perspective over to your goal and start working on that. And you'll see that that emotional state is a state that you've worked yourself up to internally. If you focus on something else, all that stuff is just going to chill the fuck out, right? Clean layer of reality. This is me again. Family members that cause problems, right? Negative information coming in that disrupts me or disturbs me. This is me putting myself into scenarios where I know I'm going to encounter something that is going to upset my emotional state. For a lot of the last, it was probably about 3 years. I've had about 3 years off now. But about 3 years ago, I ended my relationship with PTSD, and I was really struggling with some severe PTSD symptoms, and I had to really start to look at what sort of stuff was in my reality that was causing me to connect with something in an unhealthy way that was disrupting my emotional state. So cleaning up my layer of reality, cleaning up my layer of thinking in the direction of what I strive to achieve and what I want, and not what I don't want, and what I don't like, and the emotional state I don't like, and all that kind of stuff. This really helped me to move on, big time move on, and be closed off to everything but the best for you. So if you are challenged right now with something in your life that is causing you emotional turmoil, emotional disruption, start figuring out ways that you can close yourself off to anything and everything that is not for your best, right? This is the idea. Tune in, dial in, and feed what is good for you only. Everything else, turn away from it. And especially for those of you that are in long-term dysfunctional relationships, at a certain point, you got to call a spade a spade. If you cannot gain a hold of yourself emotionally within the confines of that dysfunctional relationship, maybe it's time to start assessing your options. And I get lots of questions about that. And really, it's about finding yourself to a place where you care for your emotional state. The people in your life care about your emotional state, and you don't have the presence of a bunch of pendulums that are going to disrupt your emotional state of being. And this is my key to success for me. This is really what it's about, because all that energy I've taken back and now channeled in a new direction, and I'm finding success with all the different endeavors that I do because I have learned how to manage and look out after my emotions first, right? First. So let me know your thoughts on this one. Comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And thank you so much for watching my video. Bye, guys.